Good evening and welcome to the Girls State Basketball Tournament here at Wells Fargo Arena, presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau. Dar Danielson alongside Andy Pollock here on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company. We got the 5A class done. We're going to head to Class 3A. West Trojan, West Marshall Trojans, the number 8 seed, taking on number 1 Mount Vernon Mustang. Dar Danielson here along with Andy Pollock. And Andy, this Mount Vernon team, a lot of names of athletes on there that people might recognize, and they've only lost to the Prairie team we saw just lose here in the 5A contest.
And that Prairie team that gave Waukee Northwest everything that they could handle throughout the entire night. Yeah, you mentioned it's a team made up of, like, if you could have a genetic all-star team of athletes in the state of Iowa, you're talking about a lot of the parents of these Mount Vernon players. So we'll talk a lot about that throughout the course of the evening, but it's going to be fun and maybe rehash some of those memories of some of their parents playing back in the day.
But West Marshall, they have a history of being down here. Here is the 8 seed with a tall task against the number 1, but it's not a new experience for them.
Not at all, and they're making their second trip in the last 4 years, and you know they're going to be a tough team, and they're going to shift up doing a lot of different things and just try to make Mount Vernon a little bit uncomfortable and maybe sneak out of here with an upset win.
All right, we'll take a break here. We'll come back. We'll talk a little bit more about some of the keys to the seeds for success in this matchup. You're watching the Girls State Basketball Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau.
Here in Greater Des Moines, we're the unexpected sports mecca that feels like home. We are the big ballers, the little kickers, the underdogs, and the bulldogs. We've got events wacky and wild, big and small. We host them all. That old sports cliche, nobody believes in us? Nah, when you come here, you'll believe it. Because in Des Moines, only the S's are silent. Let's go!
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Here at the Girls State Basketball Tournament, presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau and the Girls Union Digital Network, powered by Mid-American Energy. Number 1 versus number 8 in the opener for Class 3A here. Let's take a look at the road to state for these two teams. As you see, West Marshall, 19-5 record, won Region 3, defeating Forest City. They shoot 32.6% from three-point range, 15.3 steals. Bella Burgos, 19 points. Lily Zahn, 11 points a game. You see their numbers there. Then for Mount Vernon, defeated Benton, the Region 1 champ. We talked about it. Their only loss coming to Cedar Rapids Prairie, a 5A qualifier. Team field goal percentage, 48%, best in 3A, 65.3 points per game. Sydney Huber, Chloe Meester, and we'll talk more about those names as we go through, but obviously some names we've heard in other sports and heard throughout the past too, with some lineage there for them. So West Marshall and Mount Vernon ready to go here, and it's uncommon for a number 8 to beat a number 1, but it's not undoable, Andy.
I remember my first trip to what was Veterans Memorial Auditorium back in 1991, I think it was, when the 8 seed Applington Panthers upset the number 1 seed Iowa Mennonites. So that was, ever since that happened, I feel like anything's possible.
So let's talk about our seeds to success presented by Channel Seeds. And go ahead.
Yeah, and I think the big thing, Mount Vernon, the one player out there that can beat you right now is Bella Burgos, averaging just under 20 points a game for West Marshall. And she's got a lot of school records, does everything well, can shoot from anywhere. They've got to find her, identify her in transition. If they can keep her down, I'm not sure anybody else on this West Marshall team can beat Mount Vernon. And then West Marshall, they got to be masters as guys. I think you're going to see them try to start off in a zone, and I think they're more comfortable in that, but they're going to have to shift up some of their defensive looks and give Mount Vernon a lot of different looks to make them uncomfortable on the edge. And then for both of them, embrace the moment of what's going on out here. You got a chance to be out here in front of your hometown and create some memories. I remember, several times in high school coming down here. I can tell you about every minute of every playoff game that we were ever a part of.
All right, teams have warming up. Well, Mustangs are still out here warming up, and we're going to take another break. We'll come back, and we'll be about ready for our starting lineups and get the Class 3A quarterfinal underway. You're watching the Girls State Basketball Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau.
Hello, I'm Brent Johnson, a fifth-generation farmer from Calhoun County and president of the Iowa Farm Bureau.
And I'm Erin Gerlich, executive director of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. We're excited to have you join us for the Girls State Basketball Tournament.
The Iowa Farm Bureau is proud to be the title sponsor of this amazing event. Iowa's farmers work endlessly to grow and raise nutritious food and sustain our local communities. Similarly, Iowa's student athletes dedicate countless hours to train and excel in their sport. Partnering with the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union allows us to celebrate farmers and student athletes while supporting and empowering the Iowa girl.
Reaching the state tournament is a tremendous achievement, and it requires strong support. Thanks to the Iowa Farm Bureau, we can celebrate and honor students for their accomplishments on the basketball court and in the classroom. The Iowa Farm Bureau is dedicated to your success, assisting our organization in providing awards, grants and scholarships, as well as concussion insurance and these wonderful championship hats. These contributions not only protect student athletes' health, but also highlight outstanding performance in both athletics and academics.
As Iowans, we have so much to be proud of, and every single one of us plays a role in making our state great. So, from the Iowa Farm Bureau
and the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union,
congratulations on an outstanding season and best of luck in the tournament.
You're watching the Girls Union Digital Network, powered by Mid-American Energy, here at the Girls State Basketball Tournament, presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau as we get ready to get Class 3A underway. Somebody was asking, I don't know when they reset, why did they go 5A, 3A, 4A? Was there a reason for that, Andy?
I think they work backwards from the title game. I think it's kind of how it all works out. So they always have the 5A is one night and 4A is on a different night. So I think that's
right.
why
So
they
they go
backwards from the championship game.
Timing set up for that here. And let's go to our PA announcer.
And the Mount Vernon Mustangs. Tradition is an important part of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union's storied history. Because our past is an integral part of what we do today, we ask that everyone in attendance please join in a round of applause to show our appreciation to all the women who have participated in high school athletics in Iowa. Once an Iowa girl, always an Iowa girl. Fans, at this time, the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union and the Iowa Farm Bureau would like to recognize the outstanding sportsmanship shown by West Marshall High School and Mount Vernon High School. In recognition of the importance of good sportsmanship, each state qualifying school was asked to nominate a spectator who represents their school and community in a sportsmanlike manner. Tegan Dungy, a member of the IGHSAU Student Athlete Advisory Committee, will present each nominee with a certificate of recognition and a $250 check payable to their school scholarship fund. please join us in honoring these individuals whose decorum and respect for others serves as a model for all spectators attending interscholastic events. From West Marshall High School, Deb Jones. And from Mount Vernon High School, Brenda Frank. The Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union promotes good sportsmanship by participants, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants, officials, and spectators in a positive manner. Profanity, racial, sexist, or abusive comments, or intimidating actions directed at officials, participants, coaches, team representatives, or event personnel will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal. We thank you for your cooperation and invite you to enjoy the game. Fans, it's now time to introduce the players in today's quarterfinal matchup. First, the non-starters and assistant coaches for the West Marshall Trojans. Number 4, Olivia Randall. Number 10, Riley Randall. Number 12, Mia Christensen. Number 14, Delaney Eldridge. Number 24, Kinley Johnston. Number 42, Lily Rosedale. Number 52, Shelby Johnston. And number 54, Nell Kemmer. Assistant coaches are Buffy Honak, Sean Lomas, Ryan Johnston, Joe Eilbeck, and Bob Tollefson. Now let's meet the non-starters and assistant coaches for Mount Vernon. Number 3, Olivia Truitt. Number 4, Quinn Pershing. Number 5, Erin Jackson. Number 14, Lucy Wishmeyer. Number 21, Sophia Meester. Number 24, Riley Rasmussen. And number 25, Ella Wilson. Assistant coaches are Jacob Meisner, Ben Kanake, Susan Orvis, and Jason Pershing. And now let's meet the starters for both teams in alternating fashion. For West Marshall, a 5'8" senior guard, number 20, Bella Borgos. For Mount Vernon, a 5'5" freshman guard, number 10, Savannah Wright. For West Marshall, a 5'11" senior forward, number 22, Lily Zond. For Mount Vernon, a 5'5" junior guard, number 11, Taylor Frank. For West Marshall, a 5'9" senior forward, number 30, Natalie Nichols. And for Mount Vernon, a 6'3" senior center, number 20, Chloe Meester. For West Marshall, a 5'8" junior forward, number 34, Hallie Jones. And for Mount Vernon, a 5'8" junior guard, number 22, Courtney Frank. For West Marshall, a 5'11" senior center, number 44, Avery Evertson. And for Mount Vernon, a 6' senior guard, number 23, Sydney Huber. Head coach for West Marshall is Cody Hackett. And the head coach for Mount Vernon is Nate Sanderson. Now, fans, please direct your attention to the area in front of the scorer's table for the introduction of our officials as assigned by the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. They are Kurt Strouth, Brett Johnson, Blake Reinecke, and the bench official, Tyler Hobick. All right, fans, it's time to play state tournament basketball.
All righty, we're ready. Class 3A quarterfinal basketball here on a balmy day in Des Moines, which you get into March, you get into Iowa weather, you know things are going to change. Quick keys for both these teams to start it out, Andy.
Well, West Marshall, you got to just get off to a fast start. You're gonna have to stay close right from the start and hope that maybe as things go on, you're closer at the end and be able to make a play. And by the same token, you got to weather that storm that West Marshall's going to come at you with if you're Mount Vernon, because they're going to throw everything they got at you early on here.
And it's always avoid the big runs, isn't it?
Big runs are going to be a huge part. I think you're going to see
tap control by West Marshall. Over to Zahn, now up top. Screen by Zahn, pull-up jumper is short. Rebound put back up and good by Natalie Nichols.
A lot of attention drawn to Borgos. Everywhere she goes, brought out a second defender as she beat one as the block happened. Allowed an offensive rebound there for a bucket.
Inside to Frank, now stripped away by Borgos. She'll bring it across the half line.
A lot of times you like to get that ball to the middle of the 2-3 zone, but West Marshall sagged right along with it.
Stripped away by Savannah Wright, the freshman. Bounce pass up ahead. Layup no good, and then a foul on the rebound is going to be called on Courtney Frank.
Courtney Frank, twin sister out there as well, Taylor Frank, both on the court at the same time, and Courtney gets that first foul coming down, grabbed onto a little bit of arm.
And here's West Marshall with it. 2-0 lead early. Borgos around the edge, gets it off. Up top, Evertson now over to Borgos again. Borgos drives between two defenders, puts it up. Had it blocked there, I believe, by Meester.
Yeah, Meester along with about 6 other hands that got in on it.
Quick three, left side, good by Sydney Huber.
We're going to talk about Huber a lot. Future Evansville basketball player, comes from a great line of really, really good basketball players in the state of Iowa.
Gives the first bucket and the first lead, and there's a quick reach inside. And that'll go against Taylor Frank.
Talking to Coach Nate Sanderson from Mount Vernon, we had a chance to meet up with him the first time now, probably, 6-7 years ago, maybe even longer, when he was head coach at Springville when they won a couple titles here in a row. And always very organized, has a lot of information for us. They've been a team that's played a lot of zone over the years, or he's been a coach that's played a lot of zone, but he said they've really settled in and started to play some really good man-to-man defense, and if he can do it, he likes that a lot.
Jones tries to get it inside, but it's kicked by Taylor Frank, and they'll give it back to West Marshall.
They're going to alternate a lot. You're going to see on Borgos with the Frank sisters.
And Dazan over outside to Nichols, pull up, no good, rebound, Meester underneath.
How high in the air did Meester just go to get that rebound? Future Louisville, I didn't say that right, Louisville volleyball player.
Savannah Wright over to Huber, off, no good, rebound, pull down, into contact, knocked away, diving down for it is Frank. Courtney now over for three, good. Out of the scramble, a three for Savannah Wright.
Well, it was a no-look. I don't think she ever knew that Savannah Wright was going down to that left corner. She threw it blindly down there, just knew on that secondary break situation that she was going to be there.
Borgos for three off the glass, no good. A rebound comes down to Courtney Frank. Quickly up ahead. Now up top, Meester free throw line, off no good. Rebound pulled down and then a foul. Off the rebound by Evertson.
Pretty sure they just got Courtney Frank for her second foul.
Yeah. So 3 team fouls, all on Franks, 2 on Courtney, 1 on Taylor.
The officials are going to discuss it. I think they're going to try to get one on somebody else over there.
How they discuss it and they go over.
We're on the opposite side of the scorer's bench, so they change it to be on Sydney Huber instead.
So take the foul off for Frank, get it to Huber. So 3 team fouls here with over 5 minutes to go, first quarter. So the possibility of the bonus in play. Burgos over, now knocked away, stepping in, Savannah Wright. The freshman goes down up and easy, too.
Game is moving pretty slow right now for the freshman, Savannah Wright.
8 straight points now for Mount Vernon after falling behind with the first bucket, 2-0. They looked inside to the post up. Nichols not there. Now tried to throw it to Burgos cutting, but went high. She was guarded pretty well by Savannah Wright.
Well, Taylor Frank, too. Taylor Frank's the one that's kind of all over, and they're helping every time she comes off a screen, and I think it's frustrating Burgos a little bit right now. She's not able to get any clean touches.
And then you got Meester with her size inside there, too. Down the lane, up and good. Savannah Wright. She's got 7.
Well, she averages just under 12 points a game and is really kind of, not going to say come out of nowhere, but was a pleasant surprise this year for the Mustangs.
Now over to the left side. They'll rotate it back to Zond. She'll pull it out. 13 on the shot clock. Now stripped away. Looked up for a minute. Now up the floor to Meester and good.
Meester running the floor at 6'3". That's something pretty special to see the way she runs the floor at that height, and that's why she is one of the elite athletes, not only in the state of Iowa, but in the entire country.
So a 12-0 run here by Mount Vernon. First thing we said before the start of the game, you got to stop those runs. You know, West Marshall scored first, but then they let Savannah Wright with 7 of the 12 points and a couple threes.
And it's just been really hard for West Marshall to get anything going offensively right now. There's just no rhythm here through the first half of the first quarter on what they're doing because they want to get the ball to Burgos, and they're setting double screens for her, and then she'll find another screen later on, and they just can't get her clean touches right now.
That's where somebody else maybe has to step up, pop one of those shots, and take a little pressure off of her.
Yeah, at some point here, you'll probably see Lily Zond have an opportunity to try to free her up to get some shots. Here she is right in front of us.
With the ball, kicks it out for 3. No good. Rebound. Meester had a hand on it, but can't bring it in. A little high rebound. Tried to go up for it, and it goes out of bounds underneath the basket with a fresh 35 on the shot clock for West Marshall. Haley Jones will trigger it. Throws it out deep to Burgos. She's quickly picked up by Frank. Up high off the glass, no good. Slapped around, rebound to West Marshall. Inside, back up top. Down the lane, pull up and good by Haley Jones. And that's been several minutes since they got
from
on
the very
board.
first possession.
Yeah. The early seconds they scored, and now been about 5 minutes. They throw it outside to Taylor Frank. She crosses over, has it poked away by Burgos. Down the lane, dishes it over. Out for the 3. Good. Savannah Wright, her second 3. 10 points for Wright. Here, 10 of the 15 in this first quarter. Only issue so far for Mount Vernon has been fouls, 3 of those, but it may not be. Burgos steps back behind the three-point line. Oh, almost got the bouncing in, but comes out of there, and Meester rebounds it quickly up the floor to Huber. Good.
Huber showing great body control. There again, running the floor. Mount Vernon not even having to get in any half-court sets right now, just beating everybody back for West Marshall.
Burgos pulls up for 3, pops it.
One of the few clean looks that Burgos has had here early on.
And because she had the ball in her hands to start with.
Right from the start, yep.
Dribbled in until she got the look, yeah. So 10-point lead early, down the lane, kick out. Up top they go to Sydney Huber. Outside for 3 is good. Taylor Frank joins the three-point parade.
Mount Vernon shooting over 80% here in the first quarter from three-point land, higher from three-point land than they are field goals overall. 4 for 5 at the moment.
Yep, 4 threes. Into the middle, now outside, Jones. Now underneath they try to go back into Zahn. And we'll have some IMT insurance substitutions. All substitutions brought to you by IMT Insurance. Learn how you can be worry-free at IMTINS.com. And here's the Mustangs again. Driving in, kicking it back outside. Frank throws it way deep. Now back over. That was Aaron Jackson who just came in. Taken away inside by Riley Randall, who's just into the ball game for West Marshall. Randall drives and kicks. Across the top, Kinley Johnson, who's in there. And then a quick reach in and a foul. Called up front on Courtney Frank, so that is her second now. It would have been her third if they'd left that foul, but
well, right away. This is not something that's needed. She just took a big swipe at the ball right as it was caught. Don't want to waste a foul in that situation.
No, 58 seconds ago, so the next foul could be two. Here's a three by Borges, and it's going to get out on the rebound. Just nowhere to outlet it. Borges put up the three. Couldn't get it to go. A little pressure now by West Marshall. They'll drop
they
back.
faked us. Yeah. Faked us with the pressure.
About 11-second difference here between the shot and the game clock. Mount Vernon looking to add to the lead before the quarter's over.
Coach Cody Hackett for West Marshall, also the football coach. Looks like some linebackers acting like they were going to blitz on that last one.
Inside, back up and good by Riley Rasmussen. The sophomore in there.
Rasmussen doesn't score much. In fact, less than a bucket a game, already ahead of her average.
5'10", gives you a little size inside. Now battle there, and Rasmussen's going to get the rebound and be fouled by Shelby Johnson. First personal on her, first team foul. And now the shot clock is off. Up ahead, Savannah Wright. They rotate it quickly. Frank over right side. Good! The three by Aaron Jackson, the senior off the bench, caps the first quarter with the three to make it 25-7 here after one. You're watching the Girls State Basketball Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau.
At MidAmerican Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. MidAmerican Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
If you grill it, he will come.
Hey.
Is this heaven?
Nope. It's fairway.
Back here at the Girls State Basketball Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau. You see the West Marshall pep band there. On the Girls Union Digital Network powered by MidAmerican Energy. Across Iowa, hundreds of neighborhood banks are providing jobs, supporting businesses, and strengthening our communities. Here, success is built by you, and the life you build is backed by Iowa banks. See what we mean at iowabankers.com. So, Mount Vernon Mustangs will start the second quarter with that 18-point lead, and there's a three to start it out by Sydney Huber.
This is nuts. Huber shoots a lot like her mom. A lot of people remember Stacy Freese, the former Cedar Rapids Washington star, and then great basketball player under Bill Fennelly at Iowa State. And you can see a little bit of that shot, or a lot of similarities there in the shooting of her daughter here, Sydney Huber.
Knocked around and go off West Marshall out of bounds. Yeah, that was about the time when I was in Ames and Fennelly came and they got it going and got their first trip to the NCAA tournament. And things just kind of took off for Bill Fenley, who's had a little bit of success
Yeah,
there at
just a
Iowa
little bit.
State.
Saw Billy Fenley here earlier today. I did not see Coach, but a lot of people earlier following along, watching Johnston, Dowling have a lot of uncommitted future D1 players, so here to check that out. Jan Jensen was here for Iowa.
Coaches always come down to see. I asked one time, can you, at this point, there's a cut inside and taken by Frank, Taylor Frank. 10 on the shot clock now. Courtney Frank dribbles all the way around. Back up top to Sydney Huber. Down the lane with 3 to go. Hits the rim, and Courtney Frank gets the rebound. Now back up inside, no good. Tapped out of there. And Aaron Jackson will get it. A lot of action, no scoring, but
West Marshall really having a tough time getting rebounds here against this zone.
yeah, looks like,
with their zone that they're running.
Yeah, for West Marshall, it seems like they've got 10 people out there all the time. Down the lane, up and good, and one. Sydney Huber.
Huber with 5 points in that first quarter and already adding to that quite a bit in the second.
Replay here, goes up.
Not much contact, but just enough.
And that foul goes against Kinley Johnson, her first. And to the line, Sydney Huber. And
Huber, a 91% free throw shooter.
I was just looking for that number, but inside spin. Oh, good look on her basket, but they said, is that a travel?
Yep, walked with it on the spin move. And again, just, Borgo's trying to get freed up, and she just cannot even get touches right now on the basketball.
And found Nichols, but she found her after the step, so we go back the other way again with Mount Vernon.
Mount Vernon's extended this lead with a couple of their best players on the bench right now, and
Taylor Frank with the 2.
so deep.
She's got 5 now.
Balanced may be a better term. They only play 7 gals, but the balance amongst those players, anybody can go off. A lot of these girls were members of their state championship volleyball team this year.
Shot off, no good. Rebounded by Aaron Jackson.
You were down there and saw a lot of that in Iowa City. Down there, over there, I guess.
Over there now, yeah.
I'm big on directional cues.
Head east.
Sing the I-80 song on the way home.
Crossover, kick back. Courtney Frank. She'll drive in, kicks it out for 3. Good!
This is absolutely nuts, the clip that
Aaron Jackson hits another 3 off the bench. She's
Mount
got
Vernon,
6.
78% now, and they just keep hitting more and more threes. They were 5 for 7 in the first quarter, already hit 2 in the second.
Jackson's a 35% three-point shooter, and then over and back call. Now we'll see Meester come back in along with Savannah Wright.
Yeah, those two have been on the bench. Wright had a couple threes. Meester, one of their leading scorers, and they've been on the bench for no reason, just to get a break. And
they've
this
extended the lead
extended
out. It's now a 13-0 run here to start the second quarter for Mount Vernon.
That was on the heels of a 12-2 run to start the game.
Yeah, West Marshall looking for the first bucket of the second quarter. Meester almost had the rebound, let it slip through, and here comes West Marshall. Borgos with it.
See what she can do with the ball in her hands right now.
Calls the play, gets a high screen there, and then they're going to call a push, I think, on Taylor Frank on that screen. Yep.
They called her for the push, but she was also reaching around the screen of Avery Everson, trying to do anything she could to slow up Borgos.
Everson did a good screen,
Everson
straight up.
Stayed right there, did exactly
ground.
what she's supposed to do.
A lot of times you see that screen start moving and you get the offensive foul, but not here. Here's Zahn, gets it off. Three-pointer, no good. Rebound comes out to Frank. Courtney Frank up ahead, Savannah Wright. She'll pull it out of the middle, reset it over there.
I watched Borgos try to cut through the lane. She had 3 Mount Vernon defenders that collapsed on her as she cut through the lane.
Frank dumps it over the top for her first bucket. Courtney Frank. Borgos spins in, pulls back, and double team.
Right away when she's
Gets
got
it
the ball.
over. Haley Jones up no good, and Meester pulls it down. Here's Frank, he'll push the issue. Through traffic, stop and go, dribble, kicks it back out, three, no. Erin Jackson, one of her first misses from long range. That's 2 3-pointers.
West Marshall's zone defense right now, just not putting any pressure at all on Mount Vernon's offense.
Evertson gets it inside to Nichols and knocked away.
Meester showing some of those volleyball skills, slaps that ball a couple rows deep into the bleachers.
Yeah. I think that was in the right corner for a kill, wasn't it?
I think that ball was signed Happy Birthday Grandma Joe. It's her grandma's birthday up in Parkersburg tonight, so giving her a little birthday gift.
Dribble in and pulls it back. Borgos dribbles back outside, shoots it with 4 on the shot clock. Rebound put back, no good.
I think Meester got another block there.
Yep. Block Nichols on the way up. And there's a block the other way by Zahn. And Borgos harassed by Frank, and then they're going to call the foul on Frank, which will be her third.
Just wearing out Borgos, so I mean, she just to take an easy dribble. She's got to be so careful in everything that she's doing. And Frank, this is that one extra grab, got dinged for the foul, and I didn't see, was that her second
That's her
as
third.
well? Her third, okay.
Yeah. And Sydney Huber will come in.
Doesn't matter who comes off the bench. Everyone from Mount Vernon so far has been able to
Yeah,
make plays.
they've been lighting it up, but that's the contagious thing about shooting. When you see everybody else and you come in and say, hey, I'm putting it up too. Borgos throws it back over to Zahn, knocked away, all the way down the other way, up and good by Courtney Frank. Timeout, West Marshall. Here, as you see Frank celebrating with a little chest bump with Meester after the steal and the layup here at the Girls State Basketball Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau.
At American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Back here at the Girls State Basketball Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau and the Girls Union Digital Network powered by Mid-American Energy. Dar Danielson, Andy Pollock. Andy, what do you say when you're down 40-7 with 2:38 to go in the first half to the number 1 seed in the tourney?
Well, with as big of hump that you've got to get through right now, it's more about just your effort and playing good defense and just try to focus on that part of the game. That's something you can control. You can't control the shots falling. You can't control that everybody on the other side's taller than you and swatting away every shot. But
just come out, run
control
things,
and play your defense. Yep.
Don't give up. Keep shooting. Maybe you hit a couple. Maybe you get a steal and chip away a little bit here. But
just really impressed. Again, Mount Vernon's a team that would love to play some more zone, and another block there for Meester.
Yeah, that's got to be number 3 I think I've got her for, at least.
Well, they play so much zone, and then tonight, we knew they were getting more and more comfortable in the postseason playing man. And
lob into Meester, and that's hard to stop.
And now the clock won't stop unless it gets back down below 25 points. So the rest of this game is going to go quite quickly.
They get it in, now kick it back outside, looking for the cutter coming down. Frank goes up, Zahn goes up and gets fouled.
Well, the clock does stop for free throws. It'll stop for free throws and timeouts right now unless it gets back down below 25.
Lily Zahn hits that one, a 53% free throw shooter. That's going to go, and that's been the only negative you can say against Mount Vernon is the number of fouls. But
well, they just play so aggressively and pressure you all over the place. I don't mean like full court pressure, but just you can't be comfortable with the basketball because they're constantly all over you.
Yeah, and for the most part, Nothing real silly except for maybe that one where Frank just reached in when she didn't really have to. Lob into Meester, and she backs up, throws it up there, but rebound pull down, back out for three. That was Frank to Huber for three.
Well, you feel like you're getting a stop for West Marshall. You feel like that stop is coming, and they just have not been able to get rebounds, and so many opportunities for Mount Vernon.
13 for Huber here in the first half, 3 threes. And now back the other way. Up and good, Savannah Wright. She had 10 in the first quarter. That's her first points of the second here. And Mount Vernon still shooting 67% from three. There's a three away by West Marshall. Up ahead, knocked away. Was that Borgos who got a hand on that?
Yeah, she lost it, though. Frank lost it. She was going to make the long B.J. Armstrong-style pass.
Poked out of there, diving for it, was Courtney Frank.
Hit the ground hard.
How about that? You're up by, 38, and you're diving for a loose ball like that still.
You know, looking at the Frank sisters out there, they just have a little look in their eye. I imagine that there's been some intense competitions there in the Frank household.
Yeah.
They got that look.
Turnaround, Borgos, no, rolls out, and guess who has the rebound? Meester. So just about a second and a half difference here at the end of the half for Mount Vernon to work with it between the shot clock and the game clock. And
not deviating from their zone either.
No. They got a double team down there on Meester. They get it inside to Courtney Frank, pull up, no good. Meester put back, no good. Rebound comes off to Zahn. Crowd saying, get it up the floor. Borgos, 1 second, shoots it as it partially blocked by Savannah Wright. And 47-9 will be our halftime score here. As just a 2-point quarter for West Marshall in the second, as they trail the number 1 seed. We'll take a break, come back with more here at the Girls State Basketball Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau.
Here in Greater Des Moines, we're the unexpected sports mecca that feels like home. We are the big ballers, the little kickers, the underdogs, and the bulldogs. We've got events wacky and wild, big and small, we host them all. That old sports cliche, nobody believes in us? Nah. You come here, you'll believe it. Because in Des Moines, only the S's are silent. Let's go!
Different people have different needs. So Delta Dental of Iowa has affordable dental and vision coverage that meets you where you are. Small business on a budget? We have options with no employer costs. Traditional Medicare plans don't cover dental, but we do. And if you can't get benefits at work, you can buy direct from us. Plus, we give back to local communities, so you help make an impact. Choose Delta Dental for your smile, for your health, for your community.
Freedom Tire is proud to support the Iowa Girl through their sponsorship of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. With 6 locations around the metro, you're never far from getting you back or keeping you on the road. Our certified staff and state-of-the-art technology means you can take comfort knowing you've got the best work at the best prices. Give us a try at Freedom Tire, a proud supporter of the IGHSAU.
Fuel choice that's cheaper, homegrown, and better for the planet? Now that's worth the hype. Pump it up with unleaded 88.
Something exciting is growing on Iowa farms these days. Innovation. From tractors that seed, weed, and harvest with data-driven precision to drones that scout or plant cover crops to protect soil and water. Even our animals live in smart homes with round-the-clock care. Technology keeps your food safer, water cleaner, and makes us more sustainable. Because what we do here benefits everyone here. Life on the farm makes everyone's life better.
Hey fans, official state tournament merchandise is now available online. You can get out your smartphones as soon as we get the graphic up here. And scan the QR code on your screen now or visit IGHSAU.org to browse and customize your merchandise to match your style. So there we go, there's the QR code. And if you just scan that, you can customize your merchandise and get a shirt. Sorry, no shirts with Andy Ardar's picture on them. That's not in the licensing agreement.
It could be arranged.
Well, yeah.
I can be sold.
Something afterwards.
Yeah, we can make that happen.
We're going to get ourselves in trouble here. 49-7 here as West Marshall scored the first bucket. Then Mount Vernon went on a big run to take the lead and then just extended it out. It was a 7-point quarter for West Marshall in the first and then a 2-point quarter in the second. So, and they've just been shooting, 59% from the floor, 67% from three-point range here today is Mount Vernon, the number one seed.
There's a reason they're showing, and it's not just one person doing it right now for Mount Vernon, it's the entire team.
Yeah, they had players coming off the bench and just popping them as we're getting the official fresh stats coming down for us here. And we'll take a break. We'll come back and we'll give you a little more look at some of the stats from the first half coming up after this at the Girls State Basketball Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Excelling in athletics takes teamwork, dedication, and a commitment to excellence. These are the same qualities that help our pig farmers and our communities thrive. The Iowa Pork Producers Association is proud to support statewide high school athletics and the student athletes who make us all proud. Visit iowapork.org/WeCare to meet the people behind the pork and hear about our winning approach to caring for our pigs, the environment, and our communities.
SWIC is a community. Southwestern Community College is a place in rural southwest Iowa where students from across the world come to be a part of a tight-knit family, Spartan Nation, where they study, train, grow, thrive, and are called by name, not by number. At SWIC, we are one.
At the Girls State Basketball Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau, the always popular Jethro's Eating Contest here. And looks like Mount Vernon won the eat-off there. And it's been on Mount Vernon here in the first half, 47-9 over West Marshall. Dar Danielson, Andy Pollack will have the stats coming up for you here to take a look at it. And there we go. For West Marshall, 14% from the line, 9% from three-point range. 59% field goal shooting for Mount Vernon, 67% from
that's crazy
three-point range. And
crazy number.
West Marshall did not make a field goal, just 2 free throws in that second quarter, and they were shooting. Mount Vernon was shooting 71% from the floor after the first quarter, so they're just going. And then you look at it. There were defensive rebounds 13, 7 rebounds for Chloe Meester, 5 defensive rebounds, 5 rebounds also for Courtney Frank. So just dominating all phases of the game here, Andy.
One of the things that stands out to me, 8 for 12, Mount Vernon from three-point land, huge, but also points in the paint, 22-2. So they're not only getting it done on the inside, they're getting it done on the outside as well, and clicking literally on all cylinders in this first-round matchup.
And West Marshall, you knew coming in, it was going to be a big task against the number 1 seed. So hopefully, they talked in halftime and they can figure something out, on what to do here.
Just got to, like I mentioned, at the middle part of the second quarter, control what you can control in the second half and understand that you were really outmatched heading into this game. But either way, they get to go back and eat some Bailey's Pizza up in State Center. So they win in that there. So it's just important to – they had a great season and continue to keep their heads up right now because they got a lot to be proud of this year.
All right, we're going to take another pause here. You're watching the Girls Union Digital Network powered by Mid-American Energy.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
If you grill it, he will come.
Hey.
Hey.
Is this heaven?
Nope. It's fairway.
Here at the Girls State Basketball Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau. You see the high shot. There's some of the fans, the Mustang cheerleaders on the flex cam here at Wells Fargo Arena. And some of the shy band members for West Marshall there. There's a kid who's flexing, man.
Now that Mount Vernon football team was pretty talented too, so
yeah.
They probably got a few of those guys that can flex up there.
The young kids waiting for their chance to step up here. For Mount Vernon, you just say, come on, keep doing what you've been doing, huh?
You want to avoid injury too. I mean, yeah. I'm guessing you're going to see about 4 minutes from the starters, and then you're going to see a lot of other girls come off the bench here in the second half, because it's not about setting records or putting up a lot of points here in this one right now. It's about the long game, and that's the
win in
semifinals.
Advance and do it without any major issues or injuries, as you say. Thanks to everyone today for tuning in on the digital network. We appreciate it.
Calling this game today, I don't know if our compensation is going to include a round of golf at the Harvester. It is a West Marshall game up there in Rhodes, so we'll have to discuss that. That needs to get talked about in our contract down the road. So anytime West Marshall's here, we get a round or two at the Harvester.
Mr. Name Dropper.
Yeah.
Still going at it here.
No, I walk in, I say, hey, do you know Dar Danielson? And I either get something thrown at me or I get something free. It's one or the other. There's no in between.
Well, so West Marshall, they'll start out with the ball here to start the second half. Avery Evertson right in front of us here. Sends it in, and we're underway.
Again, the clock will not stop except for timeouts and free throws here in the second half, unless West Marshall were able to get it down under 25 points.
Now dribbling in, back outside to Zahn, now take it away. Up ahead, Savannah Wright.
Wow.
What a fast break.
That is incredible ball control for a freshman.
She's got 14 points here. Tied now for the leading scorer with Sydney Huber. And here's Zahn over to Burgos. She goes through and boom, that's about the only time she'll be able to score, when she makes her own shot on the drive.
Yeah, averaging 20 points a game, and that was just her 5th point of the night. And Mount Vernon's game plan to stop Bella Burgos has been incredible, to say the least.
Lob down, looking for Meester. They throw it a little high.
One of the few mistakes that Mount Vernon has made in this one.
Chloe Meester, you see her smiling there coming back, probably thinking, how do you overthrow me? Although that lob is not the easiest thing in the world.
There's a lot of hands in there trying to knock that one away.
You get it up over the double team, and sometimes triple team with her. Burgos turns around, up, off, no good. It came off quick off the hands of Meester, but picked up by Savannah Wright. She looks up the floor, stops, now gets it back out to Frank, Taylor Frank. Dribbles in, kicks it out for 3, no good. Put back, Meester, no good. And the rebound comes off to Zahn.
We talked about the genetic background there of Sydney Huber and her mother, but Meester, she's got some pretty good genetics as well. Her dad, Mr. Jaguar, the old Jacksonville Jaguar, Brad Meester, UNI Panther, Appleton Parkersburg standout, and had a storied career with Jacksonville Jaguars. So there's some pretty good genetics up and down this lineup.
Where some of that size comes from there.
Yeah.
Hull ball goes to Mount Vernon. And that's Courtney Frank. Lob into Meester, up and good.
She's just so smooth and athletic, and that's, you know, we've seen tall girls, right, play at the state tournament, but very few have been able to do what Meester and what Ellie Muller for Dowling, and run the floor, shoot the ball from the outside, position themselves to get rebounds and handle the ball. It's really incredible what they've been able to do.
Burgos drives in, puts it up, almost had it poked away. Quick up the floor. On the run out, up and good by Sydney Huber. She's now got 16. Yeah, you can have the size, but it's how you do it, how you develop, and there's a lot of work goes into it.
And Meester, obviously, her primary sport is volleyball, and that shows you, the volleyball players don't spend as much time. Their club season, there's a lot of balance this time of year. They're playing a lot of club volleyball on the weekends. It's a wear and tear on your body, but to be able to do on the basketball court what she's done is remarkable.
There's a 3 from Savannah Wright.
And just West Marshall switched something up defensively. I mean, they just right now just sitting back and taking it right now.
And you mentioned something, there's a lot of talk out there about these schools that are dropping basketball. They say it's too physical for the girls and that, but there's where it goes, puts it up, no good.
But the ones that are succeeding right now have found a way to make it work with multiple sport athletes.
Yep.
And
Taylor
Mount
Frank.
Vernon's certainly one of those schools. And you learn to share. And, the high school coaches are the ones that do it right. Sometimes it's the club coaches and the clubs that can step in and make it difficult. But
yeah, because I know that just talking with some of those coaches, they want their players to play just because it gets you into something different. Now taken away by Frank.
This is what you really didn't want to see from West Marshall right now. I mean, just kind of
driving,
just kind of out there on the floor. And Mount Vernon is not taking their foot off the gas at all.
Just only the third free throw. You saw the replay there of the drive of the foul.
Coach Hackett was hoping for a better showing here tonight, but it's tough to blame West Marshall too much when you see just what this Mount Vernon team can do.
Free throw off, no good, but rebounded by Taylor Frank. Lobbed inside to Huber. Back out for 3, no good. Rebound pulled down
A lot of heavy legs out there for West Marshall right now.
Yeah. Borgo's puts up a three, no good. And the rebound underneath is to Riley Rasmussen, who came in on a IMT Insurance substitution. Back the other way for three, no good.
It's one of the few things that hasn't gone Mount Vernon's way tonight.
Now taken away by Frank. Three-pointer, no good. They've gone a little cold from three the last few minutes here after shooting a blistering 67% in the first half. On the drive, no good. And we'll get another substitution here. Back in will be Savannah Wright. All substitutions brought to you by IMT Insurance. Learn more about how you can be worry-free at IMT at imtims.com.
Well, pretty big flex for Mount Vernon here tonight.
Yeah, number one came out, gave
exactly
up the first basket, and then took off on a run and hasn't looked back. Inside to Courtney Frank. She spins between two players, leaves it up short, but gets fouled.
While we got a chance, Dar, at this stage of the game, it's my parents' anniversary today. So take a minute and wish Doc Tom and Lene a happy anniversary. I have a horrible son. I don't know exactly which number it is. I think they're up to 48 or 49. Maybe not quite that many, but it's getting close to that magic number. 45 maybe? I don't know. I'm horrible about that stuff. I remember dates, but you start subtracting big numbers and having to carry the one. I'm not so good at that.
That comes off. Rebound to West Marshall. Fake drive up and no good by Borgo's. Back the other way, high on the outlet pass, and a turnover.
Those are the plays as the Mount Vernon staff and fans right now. You see two of your players going into the tables.
Toward
right
the
there.
tables,
hold your breath. You're leading by 50 points.
We're up. Yeah.
Just hold your breath or just take it easy right now. Don't need that ball. Your health is more important.
Jumper up short by Shelby Johnson. Lob over to the right side. Back in to Frank, Courtney Frank. She spins around, drives outside to right for three. Savannah Wright with her fourth three. She's got 20 points now. The lead all scorers here. And then a blocking foul called inside, I think, on Rasmussen.
Non-shooting foul, so the clock will continue to run.
Some substitutions. Meester comes back in and Taylor Frank back in for an IMT Insurance substitution. Riley Randall with it, now has it taken away. Here comes Sydney Huber. Down the lane and the foul.
It'll probably about do it for this third quarter. It's like in the AAU days, you quick get it in and hurry up, throw the ball in and get it up.
And didn't go. Just about. So 64-11 here after three. We'll be back with the fourth quarter after this at the Girls State Basketball Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau.
At MidAmerican Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. MidAmerican Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Something exciting is growing on Iowa farms these days. Innovation. From tractors that seed, weed, and harvest with data-driven precision to drones that scout or plant cover crops to protect soil and water. Even our animals live in smart homes with round-the-clock care. Technology keeps your food safer, water cleaner, and makes us more sustainable. Because what we do here benefits everyone here. Life on the farm makes everyone's life better.
We'll go to the fourth quarter, 64-11. And another 2-point quarter for West Marshall. And a little wait here at the Girls State Basketball Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau and the Girls Union Digital Network powered by Mid-American Energy. There's the second horn, and we can get underway. West Marshall here. We'll start the fourth quarter.
Mount Vernon's still out there with all their starters, so would expect that you'll see the benches get cleared sooner rather than later.
Yeah, one of these times here, you think West Marshall would say, hey, we're going to start emptying the bench, and then Mount Vernon will, or vice versa.
West Marshall, we've seen several come in that we didn't see early on already, so would expect to see some more Mount Vernon Mustangs get in the game here soon.
Hubert dribbles in, kicks it out to Savannah Wright. They're just taking a little time off now, all the way in. Scoop shot up, no good. Rebound comes down to Shelby Johnson. Quick up outlet, and the foul by Lily Zahn against Sydney Huber. And now we're going to see some Natalie Nichols coming back in, Avery Evertson back in, a couple of starters for an INT insurance substitution. And on the drive, up and no good. Basket's not falling right now for the Mustangs. It doesn't really matter at this point, but looks like we'll see some substitutions from Mount Vernon coming up.
Well, actually, you're bringing a starter back in the game with Frank.
Oh, I didn't see Frank. There's a bucket. Bella Burgos gets the bucket. And that is 7 for her, averages 19. There's a three, is short. And Savannah Wright runs down the rebound, gets it to Taylor Frank, back over to Wright for three, no good. Man, that laser focus they had early on the threes has just kind of gone away a little bit.
Yeah, that part of it, but they continue. I mean, West Marshall is really struggling to, really struggling right now to get some buckets in.
Substitutions, Rasmussen will come back in. Quinn Pershing will be in for Mount Vernon. And 5:30 to play, clock stopped on the timeout. And
well, the largest margin of victory in Class 3A was 46 back in 2013. So I would say we could be really close to that here this afternoon.
So we're at, what, 49?
49 at the moment. Yeah, back in 2013, Davenport Assumption beat Red Oak by 46 points. That is the 3A largest margin of victory.
Here comes Mount Vernon again.
Mount Vernon looks to be going for that record here today.
Taylor Frank out to Savannah Wright for three.
Right now at 23 points.
Yep. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 threes from her. Where it goes down the lane. Rebound to Quinn Pershing. There's Courtney Frank with it. Taylor Frank will pull it out. Lob it in there to Riley Rasmussen. She hands it off. Over to Quinn Pershing and almost threw it away, but run down by Taylor Frank. Shot clock at 10. Kick out, three-pointer, good by Quinn Pershing. Freshman on the board.
The hits keep coming.
Just all Mount Vernon. There's a three, no good. And they run it down, does Courtney Frank. Now halfway through the fourth quarter. $55-point margin. What did you say was
46 is the largest victory in 3A.
Could see a record set here today. There's a three, long, and scramble for it. Where goes, pulls it out of there. Up and no good. And timeout called by Mount Vernon. 30-second timeout. Well, West Marshall, they're going to talk later on as it goes by, not about the loss, but how they got here.
Yeah, this won't be the one that they remember, but the experience and that that state tournament run too. There's so much magic in the communities when you go on a run in the state tournament, and everybody's paying attention. And they brought a really nice crowd.
A 19-win season here, and come out, play against the number 1 seed. Looks like Nella Kimmerer coming in the timeout for another IMT insurance substitution for West Marshall. Delaney Eldridge, freshman, in there for West Marshall. Shelby Johnson is in. And Olivia Truitt, a sophomore, in for the Mustangs. There's a three by Quinn Pershing, her second three here. And tried to lob it in, knocked away by Lucy Wishmeyer, the sophomore. She'll bring it all the way into the bucket. No good. West Marshall with the rebound. Fake, kick out. And shot is missed. It'll go to Mount Vernon.
Really the defensive effort today from Mount Vernon, and you saw it with the first group in or their normal rotation, but now even with the subs coming in, they have everybody identified and they continue to battle the entire time.
Well, they gave up 7 in the first quarter, 2 in the second, 2 in the third. They've got 4 points here, but Quinn Pershing gets another bucket.
Yeah, just a freshman. Pershing now with 8.
2 minutes to go. And timeout for substitution here for West Marshall. We got Mia Christensen come in.
Number 12.
Olivia Randall back in.
And number 42.
And Lily Rosedale, a freshman, back in. So they're getting a little time on the floor. And you got, let's see, 1, 2, 3 seniors in the lineup. Up no good. Rebound to West Marshall and then taken away by Wishmeyer.
Look at that ball handling out there by Wishmeyer.
Sophomore. And that's the thing, you said their rotation, they play about 7. So some of these other players, well, in the bigger games where they get a lead, you probably get some playing time, but a chance here to get some playing time, and you see what they have coming up. Rebound to West Marshall. Put back up, no good. Put back up and good. Shelby Johnson gets on the board.
Number 52, Shelby Johnston.
As we approach a minute to play in this one. And the shot is off. And what looked like a run out turns back around. Mount Vernon.
Very athletic Mount Vernon. Reserves, able to track everything down.
Taken by Rosedale, the freshman. They rotate it over. Back up top for three. That's me late in my playing career. You get in late and you throw it up as soon as you can.
Instant offense.
And this, I'll get a drive and put it up. No good. Tapped out of there, and this may just about wrap it up. Under the bucket, up and good.
Little run here for West Marshall at the end of the game.
Lily Rosedale with the bucket.
So the record for largest victory is tied right now. It will be shared.
46, yeah. Or 56, right? Is that what it was?
46 was the record,
so
yep, so it'll be, oh yeah,
so
I'm way off.
Yeah, they beat the
I'm
record
way off.
by 10.
They beat it by a lot.
So the final 75-19, the number one seed moves on, Mount Vernon, and they will play the winner coming up of the Cherokee Estherville Lincoln Central, the 4 versus 5 game coming up here next. Thanks to Randy at the controls. Randy Pollack, I'm Dar Danielson. That wraps it up here at the Girls State Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau.
Fans, please direct your attention to the court for the awards presentation. In addition to receiving medallions, each participating player will receive a commemorative basketball provided by the Iowa Farm Bureau, proud title sponsor of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. Presenting awards from the IGHSAU are Executive Director Aaron Gerlich and Basketball Administrator and Director Gary Ross. Congratulations to Head Coach Cody Hackett and the Trojans from West Marshall on an outstanding basketball season. And now, Sydney Huber will advance her team to the next round on the official bracket at center court. Mustang fans, your team advances to the semifinals and will play the winner of the Cherokee Estherville Lincoln Central game on Thursday at 1:30.
So there you have it. The trophy for West Marshall to get a team picture, and Mount Vernon advances to play the winner of our game coming up here in just a little bit. Cherokee and Estherville Lincoln Central. Again, for Randy Pollack, I'm Dar Danielson. Thanks to Randy on the controls here today. And that wraps it up with the Girls State Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau.